So finally, I saw the movie The Betrayed, and I am super excited that I actually watched this movie. So this movie has been on my list of movies I'll watch, and watching it right now, I'm super excited I did so because there's been a lot of hype about this movie, okay? And also listening to Uche Montana's interview on the character she played as Amarachi, how she put in so much emotions in the movie and how it was difficult for her to break out of that. So I wanted to watch this movie and see her performance on this movie, and I will tell you for a fact that it was worth the watch. So hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Substance TV and I am Substance, the girl with the movie scope. So to be part of our movie loving community, all you need to do is to click on the subscribe button to become part of us and turn on post notifications when we post a video. You would be informed. So guys, without further ado, let's jump right into the movie review of today. So this movie, The Betrayed, introduces us to the two beautiful couples, Baja and Amarachi. So Baja and Amarachi had been married for 10 years and they were blessed with two beautiful kids, a daughter and a son. So their marriage seemed like it was just a year old because they still had their romantic touch. They were obsessed with each other. They literally loved themselves, and it felt like their love was always renewed year by year by year. They really loved each other, and it was evident in the way they held each other at high esteem. Yeah, so these people happened to be going for an investor dinner party of Baja's company. Yeah, so Baja was a tech bro and he was really successful in his line of business. He had a tech bro, Batista, of whom they both built their empire together, and they were both doing pretty well. So after the dinner party they both had with their families and colleagues, Batista and Baja had already planned an after party for colleagues and friends. Alright, so they happened to have gone for the party and it was beautiful. They were all partying, drinking, and they had escorts alongside. Okay, so that was literally the beauty of the after party, the escort they had alongside. So, Baja meets Candi, an attractive young lady arranged for him by Batista, and after a night filled with heavy drinking, partying and pleasures, Baja wakes up the next morning to find Candi dead beside him with no memory of the events that had transpired. All he had were flashes of he drinking and being with a lady. Baja was arrested for murder and his life spirals into a chaos as his reputation had been destroyed. Amarachi, being his rock, was so devastated, pained and hurt with what her husband had done, but finding out that it was all a setup, she decided to do all she could to prove her husband's innocence and also bring the offenders to face the law. So that was how this movie went, guys. There were a lot of twists and turns in this movie. There were a lot of suspense. This movie was such a lot, guys. Yes. So was the movie predictable? For me, I wouldn't say it was that predictable, because in as much as I could predict the betrayal in this movie, I still had my doubt. I'm still like, are you sure is this particular person or is this person? Okay, so I love the fact that the movie was able to establish that confusion in our minds, was able to put us in suspense. Okay, we're still yet to find out if this was actually the betrayal or not. So it wasn't much predictable. So what do I like about this movie? First of all, I loved the acting. The acting was top notch. It was believable. It was natural. You could see that these people had actually brought in their A games to give us a wonderful performance. The character played by Uche Montana as Amarachi was a powerful performance. It was a very compelling one. You could see that Uche Montana literally invested so much emotions in her character. Like, she wasn't Uche Montana again. She was Amarachi, the lady that was going through a lot, the lady that was suffering emotionally, physically, mentally. Seeing her husband charged for murder after having something to do with another lady was so much for her to process. It was scary. It was unheard of. For someone she had so much believing, so much trusting, she never expected to hear such kind of crime from her husband. So she believing at first that her husband actually committed the murder was because of she even knowing that her husband has something to do with another lady. So it was just the point or the moment where you believe that this man can do anything. For him to do this kind of thing, for him to cheat on you, he can do anything. So that was it for her initially, until she found out that, okay, this whole thing was a setup. Okay, someone is trying to bring her husband down, and she fought for her husband. She fought to make sure that her husband's name is cleared. Uche Montana's character in this movie was one which I say is very much outstanding. Yes, you could feel the whole emotions in her. There was love, there was anger, there was pain, there was sacrifice, there was literally everything. Like, she just had that perfect facial expression, reaction, body expression, body language that just suited her character as Amarachi. Listening to the interview she had and also seeing the performance she pulled out in this movie literally made me understand what she really said. Okay, the fact that she said that, being in character, it was difficult for her to come out of character because she had the whole emotions in her. Okay, it was difficult for her to break out of it. Okay, she actually was in it. That moment when you're living in something, when that moment you already take something as this is what it should be. That was what she did, and she gave us the very best. So, talking about the character played by Gabriel Afolayan. So he was Baja, the husband to Amarachi. I actually love Baja's performance in this movie. Yeah, we didn't really get to see a lot coming from Baja because he was literally in cell, and it was just he giving us that he's in pain, he's confused, he's sorry, forgive me. That was it. And I felt like he had the perfect attitude, he had the perfect expression, for such character, and was a beautiful one. So I actually applaud him for such an excellent performance in this movie. So another character we have here is the one of Batista, played by Ibrahim Sulliman. I'll actually call Batista the villain in this movie because, whoa, he was actually, yeah. So his character was a very beautiful one as well. Yeah, I love the fact that he was quite a talker in this movie. He was a person that hypes himself. It literally added blend to the character that he had to play. Okay, so it was a beautiful one for Ibrahim Sulliman. So another character is Tolu, played by Jmy Urdan. So she was a lawyer in this movie, a friend, a very good friend to Amarachi, and this is the kind of friend that everyone should have. Yeah, a friend that is there in times of need, a friend that doesn't judge, a friend that will literally do anything and go extra mile for you. Like, she actually played that character of a good friend to perfection. It was beautiful and very much believable. We also have Bolanle. She didn't really have much to do, but I would say she was an excellent actress in this movie. And the character Bolanle was actually played by Stephanie Zibilia. So we also have Madam V. Madam V was played by Adunia Day, guys. She was a ruthless lady in this movie, a calm one, a calm, ruthless person in this movie. She was fierce and a lady that doesn't give an F of who is suffering or not. Okay, as far as she's making her money, she doesn't care to know if it's the offender that is suffering or an innocent person. All she cares about is her money and her business. Okay, so that's about Adunia Ade's performance. It was a beautiful one as well. So we also have Kunle. Kunle was played by Vine Olug. So this is such a very good actor, a romantic actor, a fine one at that. Okay, so Vine actually played the character of an internet fraudster and a philanderer. So this guy was amazing, actually giving us that bad boy vibes and also an internet fraudster vibe. Like, it was just so good coming from Vine, and I feel like I literally love his character. Yeah, he's one of the characters that I would put in my top 3 best characters. Okay, he just gave me that perfect performance for the period he was in this movie. Yeah. So we also have the character Candi, played by Aderonke Onuoha. Though there was nothing much for her to play in this movie, but she also did well. Okay, and we also have other actors that literally contributed to the beauty of this movie. All of them really, really did well. So that's about the performances of the movie. Yeah. So I also love the cinematography of this movie. Like, guys, it was super beautiful. Yes, the prison scene, I love the coloring, the lightning. It was amazing. Yeah, it was really amazing. And the directing of this movie was quite beautiful as well. So I want to appreciate the director of this particular movie for this wonderful directing. I love the locations, the settings, all beautiful. So yeah, what don't I like about this movie? So in as much as there are a lot of things to like about this movie, because why not? It had beautiful things, and the performances alone was just outstanding. Yeah. So what didn't work for me in this movie was a particular scene where we got to see Amarachi and Tolu, kind of confronting Madam V and trying to put her down. So we understood clearly that, okay, these people already had evidences, to put this lady down. But I was quite confused because Madam V is a woman that had a lot of guards. She had securities due to her status as a big lady. We saw clearly that she had protectors around. Okay, now Tolu and Amarachi entering into her office to confront her and to talk her, to confess to some things. Then we saw bodyguards there that literally seemed like they came with Amarachi and Tolu, because they were not even doing what Madam V asked them to do. Or it was just kind of confused. We didn't know who they were for or who they were with. All right, they were just being ordered by Tolu and Amarachi, and I was quite wondering because Tolu and Amarachi were not armed. All they had were their words and their evidences. But still, for them to literally, order Madam V that way, it should be that they actually also came with their bodyguards. And if it was not their bodyguards, why were Madam V bodyguards acting like they were not for her? Why were they not there to protect her? Guys, that particular scene was not clear. All right, they didn't really establish that scene where, and I felt like that literally wasn't good for such a beautiful movie. Okay, another aspect of the movie where I didn't like, or I felt like it didn't work for me, was the point where Amarachi was bent on doing anything to make sure that she clears her husband's name. And then, you wanting to go in there and work for that particular establishment, Madam V's establishment, knowing fully well that this lady actually knows that your husband was arrested for something, and you being in the news, your husband being in the news, and then you are having that idea of working for her. I feel like that part isn't believable, because every normal person would literally think and know that, okay, I cannot work here because it is unsafe. This woman will recognize me. Okay, being that my husband actually, was murdered in her establishment, and he has been in the news, and his family too has been in the news, so that would be the last thing for a person to think of doing. Okay, so I felt like that particular part wasn't believable. Yeah, so that's about what I didn't like about this movie. So guys, in my own opinion, I would say that they really, really tried in giving us a very beautiful, content, a beautiful storyline. Kudos to the scriptwriter of this movie, and the executive producer of this movie, alongside with the director of this movie, for this great work. Yeah, and I'm gonna rate this movie a 4-star out of 5. Yes, a 4-star, because it's actually a very beautiful one. And if you're yet to see The Betrayed, guys, you need to go see this movie. It is also showing on Prime Video. So guys, thank you so very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the review. I want to know what you think about this movie. If you have seen it, please do not forget to like this video, share this video, and subscribe to Synopsis TV for more amazing movie reviews. See you guys in my next video. Until then, stay splendid.